Okay, welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Got a fresh face today. Welcome in to this live. And today we're going to talk about something really important, which is why we keep women so busy and so distracted on purpose. Okay. And I'm talking about this because we're just coming off of a long weekend. And, we had Saturday, Sunday, Monday off. And I know there are some women out there who filled the entire weekend with stuff to do and still didn't feel like they do enough, or they tried to rest and they still didn't feel like they do enough, and why this is a constant issue that women experience. Before I get into this, I want to tell you a little bit about my story. If you're new here, my name is Fantanish Atomsa. I am a trauma-informed holistic wellness practitioner. So I focused a lot on body-based healing and trauma healing. So healing trauma from your childhood and also from past relationships so that you can reclaim your life. Okay. There's been so many women that come to me, over 1,000 women that I've treated and seen over my 10 years of doing this, that are stressed and burnt out and so dysregulated, and they don't even know what to do and where to start, right? They're just completely overwhelmed. Maybe you're a single mom, high achiever, high performer, first daughter, right? And you just are completely dysregulated. And women are coming to me telling me that this is what they're struggling with on a day-to-day basis. And I know this personally. Not only am I, trauma-informed wellness practitioner, I'm also a registered massage therapist, also a certified birth doula, Reiki practitioner, and a Kemetic yoga teacher. So I work a lot with women, with the body, with healing, with energy, with movement, and we dig deep. We go beyond the surface level and really dig deep into somatics. So where are you experiencing pain in your body, and what emotion is being manifested there, right? So what have you not processed, whether it's an emotion, whether it's a trauma, an experience that you've had that's still showing up in your body as some sort of dis-ease, pain, tension, something like that, right? So I help women heal their bodies through that. We also do a lot of nervous system regulating. So mindset, right? Frequency precedes form. I say this all the time. So we work a lot with our thoughts and how to create new neural pathways and new normals, and expanding our capacities so that we can receive and heal through our thoughts, through our mind, right? Through normalizing things in our nervous system, creating safety in our nervous system. And the third thing that I teach is divine feminine energy. So reconnecting with your true power, who you truly are as a divine feminine woman, and walking in that truth and light. Like, that is our true liberation. Okay. And so not only did I help women with this is something I struggled with personally. I went through some intense, complex early childhood trauma. I experienced early childhood SA for several years, and, went through a lot of mental health issues as a young person, as a teenager, became a mom, a single mom as a teenager. Went on, got into another relationship. That didn't work out, had twins in that relationship. So, now I'm a single mom of 3. And even though I was doing the work and practicing in the wellness industry, I was still completely dysregulated. I was on such autopilot, and I was in performance mode, to be frank, because I did not trust a soul. There was so much that I had to do on my own, not only as a single mom, but also, navigating trauma on my own, right? Navigating the complexities there, not being able to trust a single adult in my life. So then I became a high achiever, high performer. I needed to push myself despite myself, and, a self-abandonment. I couldn't handle rejection wounds. And it looked great on paper. I had the college degree, I finished, school, I got my own place, I sustaining, had a great business. But, reality hit me in the face, and, it all came crumbling down until I really understood what divine feminine energy was, realized that that was the missing piece, blending the ancient wisdom, the Afrocentric wisdom, my study of ancient Kemet, ancient Nubia, ancient Kush, Japanese healing medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, Afrocentric healing modalities, and really combining that with modern science, but really in those cultural healing practices, exalting the divine feminine again, right? Bringing her back into the picture, bringing my identity back into the picture, understanding that that was part of my identity, and walking with this new identity that was not trauma focused or, survival mode focused, but really focused in my divine feminine. And so that's what I teach women to do as well. So if you're new here, welcome. And like I said, we're gonna get back to this. So why do we keep women so busy and so dysregulated on purpose? Right? I'm gonna tell you why. Because the world profits from your exhaustion. The world absolutely profits from your exhaustion, but your soul doesn't. Okay. The world profits from your exhaustion, but the world doesn't. The world knows how powerful you are. If you don't know, we live in a patriarchal system, which is fairly new when you consider the history of the world, where it was a matriarchal system for generations, for centuries. And that's how societies were built, civilizations, spiritual systems, society structures, religions. Everything was built around divine feminine and divine masculine. But we have taken the divine feminine out, and now, over the last couple hundred years, we've began living in a patriarchal society. And so that is because the world knows how powerful women are, and it becomes a threat, right? So what happens when women get quiet? What happens when women know who they are? What happens when women tap in to their power, right? When they listen in, when they reconnect with spirit, women are extremely powerful. Every woman has a gift, right? Every woman has power. And we have the power to heal, we have the power to give birth, we have the power to destroy if we want to, right? Our tongue can build life, and it can also tear down. Women are so powerful. That's why, they thought we were witches for so long. And, they tell us to cover our bodies because, there's shame related to this. If you look back on ancient art of any sort, you see boobies hanging out, you see fupas hanging out, you see rolls, you see all of this because the woman's body was so powerful and celebrated. And now it's, you have to look a certain way, and you have to be thin, and you have to, have this sort of hair and this sort of skin color in order to, fit into mainstream beauty. These are all distractions. These are all things to keep you minimized, to keep your power low, and to keep you moldable, controllable, right? Like easily digestible, palatable, right? Just they want to keep you busy. They want to fill your days with endless tasks, with notifications, with obligations, right? And no support at that, right? It's if you ask for help, you are weak. If you can't handle it all, if you can't be pregnant and in the kitchen and still working and still getting your degree at the same time, right? By yourself, right? And still feed your husband, then you're not a woman, right? Because they'd be like, my mama did it, my grandmama did it. Why can't you do it? Right? And so there's so much pressure and distraction that's put on us women. We're told that being quiet is unproductive. We're told that our worth is measured in what we do, right? So if you cannot perform in all of these roles at once, then you're the problem, right? You get a mental health assessment, right? If you break down from all this stress and pressure, right? That's abnormal, is what we're told, right? Imagine you carrying all this stuff on your back and you crack because of it, and then you're the problem, right? Like imagine how much work had to be put into a society to normalize this sort of thinking. It's not even reasonable, right? Flip the roles, right? Ask the other sex, ask men to handle all this stuff, right? And that it's impossible. It's impossible to do this. Yet we have an expectation of women to do it. And of course, we are extremely powerful and we carry not only the emotional load, but also the physical load, right? That we can do it. We've done it for generations, right? But look at what's happening. Look at the rates of chronic illness. Look at the rates of autoimmune disease. It's higher in women because of repressed emotions, repressed anger, overloaded stress, right? And sometimes in your physical body, but you could things can also be passed down on a cellular level from your mother and your grandmother, right? Because we know this, when your grandmother um, is pregnant, right? When your grandmother is born, she has all of the eggs in her womb that she's going to have, right? She's born with all the eggs she's going to have in a lifetime. So when your grandmother is pregnant with your mom already has you in her belly, in her eggs. So anything that's going on with your grandma is being passed down to your mom, but also into the cell, into the egg, into the cellular makeup of you before you even knew that you were going to be born. So these, generational traumas and things, they get passed on. And oh man, so I need to fly through this. I will go off on a tangent because I'm very passionate about this. But if you ever wake up, right? Tell me if this sounds familiar. If you wake up and you feel like you're already behind before you started your day, right? If you feel like your mind is super loud, that you can't turn it off and your body's always exhausted, if you feel like your mind is always on and you can't rest even when you're resting, right? You just feel like you have to check an email if something's going to catch fire or burn down. If you feel like you keep pushing through even though you feel like you're going to burn out, or you keep pushing through until you crash. I've done that, right? I've done that twice that I can mentally recall, postpartum periods, right? um, and if you feel like you carry everyone else but struggle to ask for what you need, I just want you to know that this is not your problem. You are not the problem. Okay. This is actually an intelligent response. If you feel like you're stressed and burnt out, right, and you're looking around like, why can't I handle this? No. You being stressed and burnt out is actually a normal response for the amount of load that you're carrying. Okay. And I know this personally because I've been there. Like I said, postpartum was really difficult for me. But even beyond that, like I've gone into autopilot where I was just performing and completely disconnected from what my body was telling me. Choosing wrong partners and relationships, choosing to self sabotage or self abandon in toxic workplaces, in toxic friendships, just choosing to put other people's needs above my own, not having any boundaries. And then it would seep out. And I see this in other women too. It would seep out in other areas of your life. So you're having, emotional outbursts where it's not necessary, right? Maybe with your kids or your loved one or your family when they don't really deserve it, right? Or you lose your presence. You're there in person for like important moments, but you're not really there. So all these milestones like birthdays or anniversaries or vacations, like you're there, but you're not really present. Like you're dissociated from yourself, right? You can't choose healthy relationships because you don't even have any boundaries at all. You keep repeating the same cycles, choosing the same people over and over because you don't even know what you want and you're attracted to what you're used to, right? I heard one of the ladies that I love, Natasha, Coach Tash, she talks about how your type is your trauma, right? And you keep attracting your trauma, right? So you have all these unhealthy relationships, and then your health is depleting, right? You could be having hormonal issues. You could be having, cysts and fibroids. You can have chronic muscular pain, chronic joint pain, inflammation on a regular basis. You're clenching your jaw. Your hair is brittle and falling out. Your skin is inflamed, eczema, psoriasis. Your digestive system is, completely out of whack. Like these are all signs and symptoms that you are dysregulated internally. Emotionally, there's things that are not processed. on a trauma, from a trauma response, there's things that are not processed, right? And again, it's not your fault, right? You're experiencing a lack of safety. You don't feel safe in any environments that you're in, and that feels normal to you because you're used to not feeling safe because of your childhood trauma, because of the unhealthy and toxic relationships that you've been in. So being in unhealthy relationships is normal to you, so you keep going back to them, but then you keep getting more inflamed, you keep getting more sick, right? You carry a lot of shame, you're overthinking, you're on autopilot, right? You're repeating the same cycles. And I say this not to shame you, but so that you know you're not alone. This is something I went through personally. This is something that a lot of the women that I've helped have also gone through. And I want you to know that there is a way out, right? We need you, and I talk about this in my other videos, but we need you to be okay to do the work, okay? And the world wants to keep you distracted. They want you to forget what your power is. They want you to forget what your strength is, to heal, to bring beauty into the world, to bring life into the world, to bring creativity into the world. That is all your power as a woman, right? And that is your work as a woman. Our work is not to strategize and to build and to, have structures and do all these, these things. Our job as women is to bring the beauty back, to bring the joy back, to bring the creativity, the laughter, right? To bring life, to bring emotional support, to nurture, to heal, to help people recover. That is our work as women. That is our work. And we can't do the work if we're in survival mode all the time. We can't do the work if we're unsupported. We can't do the work if we're burnt out and stressed and emails are flying off the handle and notifications are flying off the handle and demands and obligations are calling on us every minute, right? There's no way we can do that work. And that's why the world is in the state that it's in today, right? And we're slowly moving into a matriarchal society where the energies are getting balanced, but we need to get with it. We need to get caught up with the program and heal so that we can transition with this new phase of this new stage where the world is going into. So if you're stressed and burnt out, um, you're not going to be able to heal the people, the world, to do the work. You're not even going to be able to reclaim your own life, right, and feel good in your own body and rebuild your own self trust. So this is the work that we do inside the sanctuary. And I know life is extremely busy, and I was there, and I'm still there, right? I'm not trying to add any more work and stress into you ladies' lives. That's why I created the quick resets program, which provides several quick videos that you can watch 10 minutes or less to help you if you feel like you're overthinking, if you feel like you're dysregulated, if you feel like, are disconnected in your body or you're feeling body pain in any sort of way. I have videos in there. You can just go click through it, listen to it in your car, listen to it at your desk, listen to it in the morning, and just help you re-regulate again. And I'm going to put the link for that in the description. And you can go through that entire quick resets program and explore everything else in there. The entire divine feminine energy program that teaches you how to feel safe in joy and pleasure, how to reconnect with your divine feminine energy, right? The practices, how to align yourself with the sacred clock and really come back into your royalty, right? Your divinity as you need to. But for the moment, like, I don't know where you're at or how stressed out you're at, but if you feel like time, you just don't have enough and you're so dysregulated, go into the quick resets. You can try it 7 days free. And while you're there, explore everything else we have in the sanctuary. And we would love to have you in there because you do not need to be this stressed out all the time. Your rest is your liberation, right? Your rest is your rebellion. Okay, your rest is part of the revolution that is happening right now. And we need you, babes. We need you. So begin this healing journey. Come into the sanctuary. Right, we have right now over 50 women from all over the world that are healing, that are, healing their body, healing trauma out of their body, healing pain and illness and sickness out of their body. We're detoxing, we're moving with joy, with pleasure. We're reconnecting with our creativity, and we're resetting our nervous systems. We're healing our body. And the most important thing is we're becoming self-actualized, right? We're not buying into the hype and the propaganda about women are less than, or women need to be barefoot in the kitchen. Although I do love to be barefoot in the kitchen, but with support. Okay. But we don't have to do it all. You don't have to be stressed and burnt out. When you realize and understand who you truly are, then the way that you move through the world is going to change. Your boundaries become non-negotiable. What you tolerate in friendships, in romantic relationships, in workplaces, and business, your whole life is going to change. You're going to feel more present, more healthy, more connected, and more calm. Like, I just want you to be calm and peaceful. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. All my information is in my bio, and leave a comment. Let me know if this resonated with you, and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Ciao.